What is going on out there, peeps? Okay, so look at some things were dropped inside the Pimpy's Investment Chat Facebook group that we need to address right away so we can try to get some calmer heads prevailing in there. And again, well, we'll get to it here in just a second. A quick reminder: we have Pimpy's Investment Chat, and here we talk about all kinds of things: gold, silver, foreign investments, okay, as well as cryptocurrencies. Over here we have the hidden things in front of your eyes, and here we talk about NESARA, GESARA, current events, as well as things that most people might consider political. All right, so we'll get into that here in just a second. So this was dropped into my group, and so as you can imagine, it caused a lot of panic. They want to know, what the hell does this mean? Hey Liz. Hi Liz, what you own is bullion silver coins. It's not legal tender. Never been used for any bartering. The government statutory value for 50 years and counting is 1.2999 per ounce. Crypto is valued in US dollar. When the dollar resets or collapses, your investment goes to zero. It's not backed by any financial institution. It's not guaranteed. If you liked a conference call, best regard, and there was a number there with a name. So I called it. And yeah, I talked to the woman. So here's a couple of things you need to know about. First of all, XRP has contracts with the Federal Reserve. Ethereum is working with the Treasury. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that would be kind of strange to have these institutions partner up with these particular platforms. And again, I'm not an expert with cryptocurrencies. That could be just their platform and their platform only with no value to the cryptocurrencies. But it would seem strange to me that that would not be taken in consideration when these contracts are being made. In other words, yeah, I find it hard to believe that if a reset happens, they go to zero. Now, having said that, I don't have a lot of faith in cryptocurrencies, and I told you my scenario in which I would accept them. Now, this thing here, we need to talk about this, okay? First of all, this person is supposed to be from ITM, and as most of you already know, ITM is where Lynette Zhang is. And Lynette Zhang, you hear me praise about her all the time. I said if I had Pimpy University, Lynette Zhang would definitely be my gold and silver person. So now we're going to go over where this confusion is, okay? Because I talked to Liz. She was telling me the same thing just about in here. But it didn't make any sense to me. One, she asked me to make a spreadsheet of my inventory and send it to her, which, no thank you. And now I'm not saying she's not who she says she is, but that was kind of iffy to me. So she is sending me some information. I don't want to say anything negative about her. What I'm saying is that caused me to be concerned. So she's going to send me some information and I will review it. But having said that, in there it's saying if the coins, the silver and gold coins, are bullion and they have no value, then you have to ask yourself these types of questions. This is ITM trading. What are they selling here? Gold and silver coins, just like the ones we've been buying. Bars even, just like the ones we've been buying. It would seem to me if there was something that significant telling people, hey, you should not be investing in these because they actually have no value, then why would you be selling them to your own clients? That's confusing to me. Second of all, I want you to think about this worldwide. How many people hold bullion cubes? Okay? Collectible, numismatic coins. Collectible coins. The American Eagle, the maple leaves. Okay? Think about all those things. All right? And then all of a sudden you said, surprise, there's no value to them. I can't even begin to explain to you the amount of hell that would be unleashed on earth. And I mean that literally. People would be so inflamed at this. There would be riots 100 times bigger than BML riots right now. People would be grabbing their guns. You would see politicians hanging from trees. People would be killed. Literally. This is not hypothetical, because I know people that have millions and millions and millions of dollars in these coins. And what she was trying to say is they have no value. But their own website sells the very things we're talking about. Now, she went on to say that there's some kind of thing within the Treasury that states that, or the Federal Reserve, that is. The Federal Reserve states that only pre-1933 gold coins cannot be confiscated. Well, even if that were true, considering the person that we have in office at this moment, do you think in all your wildest dream, when he's spending so much time going through so much hell right now to give the power and wealth back to the people, that he would allow that type of thing to remove it? Not going to happen. His goal is to end the Federal Reserve. If he's going to end the Federal Reserve, even if that was written in their laws, they are not the government. They are just the Federal Reserve. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a private bank. Their policies are not laws for what happens out here. So, yes, I said I was a big fan of Lynette Zhang's, and she was, oh, that's good. But she didn't really seem to care too much. I don't know who she is. She says she's been doing this for 40 years. I will look into this. But why would their own website sell the very coins in bars and rounds that we are currently buying? So just think about that. I'm going to show you something else. Here are the American Eagles. Okay. What does this say? U.S. minted bullion coins. These are minted by the U.S. government. Can you imagine what would happen? The amount of hell that would be unleashed if they told people to buy these coins at a certain rate that was dictated by the market, and then told them, just kidding, guess what? They're only worth $1.29. Their kids and families would be killed. Literally, this is not hyperbolic. People around this country, around the world, would track down their government people and shoot them if they were misled by this. For the first time in 5 months, sales of American Eagle coins totaled 335,000 troy ounces, up 222%. I just want you to think about this stuff, because some of you guys are like, whoa, good Lord, man, that's crazy, because you saw this, but you should just do a little homework. Now, here's the kicker. There she is myself, my little silver and gold goddess, Lynette Zhang. And I want you to hear what Lynette has to say for a couple minutes.
Already begun. And we're going to take
wait. Let me rewind this a little bit.
And the first one is to help you survive and thrive through the reset that has already begun.
Did you hear what she said? She already told you guys the reset is starting. But listen to what she's saying.
And we're going to take some excess questions that came in. And the first one is from Julie Lauer. And she says, neighbors to the north, meaning Canada, I presume, were always able to buy gold when FDR made gold illegal. Since they are so close to us, could the American people back then not have taken advantage of that? Well, I think they probably could have taken advantage of that if they actually understood what was happening to the monetary system. And in fact, they could have continued to buy pre-1933 gold coins like Treasury Secretary Wooden established in the law and my uncle took advantage of. So yeah, if people actually understood what was happening to the monetary system, there were a number of different ways that they could have bought and held gold. And but what did they know? What the founders of the system knew is that people marry the legal money of the state, and they cannot help but think that it will regain some of its value, even though it never does. And that's why it has virtually no value now. Only reason it has value is because people still continue to accept it in payment for their labor and use it as a tool of barter.
You heard what you're saying? Talk about the fiat dollar.
At some point, that will change. And Amy Anna asks, what do I think of 1 ounce silver Britannia?
What do I think of the 1 ounce silver Britannia? She's giving you the 2 thumbs up. It would be at this time she would say, you know what, Amy? Let me tell you now, you shouldn't get them because they're only worth $1.29. You see what I'm saying? It doesn't make a difference if the coins, they are currency, by the way. Most of the coins we buy are currency. Okay? So even if the currency wasn't worth anything, the metal value would have value. But let's continue.
What types of things and how much will you be able to buy with a 1 ounce Britannia or a 1 ounce piece of silver? That's the smallest coin that I could find at the moment. Well, you know, there are rounds, so there are all different sizes of silver, like pre-1964, 90% silver, dimes they're not a tenth of an ounce because it's 0.70715 because there's other metals in there. But you have pre-64 dimes, quarters, half dollars, as well as the dollars. And there are some rounds, silver rounds, that also are in tenths and quarters and half ounces. And also, I mean, this is sterling silver, which means this is 92.5% pure. And this would be pretty easy to break down if I needed to do it. So there.
Break down. So let's just say for hypothetics, let's say that coins would be confiscated or coins are not a legal tender, but the metal is good. Fine. Okay. What would keep you from melting your coins down and turning them into silver or gold bars? Do you understand this? I'm not sure where she was going. And I think, you know, again, I'm going to be staying in contact with her because I want to make sure there's no misunderstanding. But her own marketing person is telling you right now the Britannias are fine, silver rounds are fine, silver bars are fine.
There are all sorts of options, you know, that you can do with silver. But yes, I love them. Any level of silver. But you do want a variety of sizes if you can get your hands on them. And I have lots of 1 ounce pieces as well, even 1 ounce bars. So
she has bars.
I believe that we have availability on the silver rounds, the smaller ones, and junk silver. So you can call us and see if you want to lay in some smaller pieces. But yes, I like them. And Louisa V asks, do you think silver will be a good investment?
Pay attention because once again, based on that email that you got, this would be that moment that she would tell you and clarify things.
Well, if you're thinking of it as a trade, yes, I think what you're asking me, do I think that the price if you're thinking of it as a trade, do I think the price in terms of fiat will go up? And the answer is yes, it will. It has to break above that 20 level, and then it'll go higher. And ultimately, back in 2012, I think, or 2011, I think it was near 50. So it has a ways to go before it concludes that cup. But what silver really does, and again, like gold, it's used across every single area and aspect of the global economy.
Gold and silver. She wasn't saying pre-33 or you had to have these coins or no, she said gold and silver, period, was used across the world's economy, period.
So there's always demand. Silver is used more in manufacturing, which is why you've seen it not keep pace with gold, but you need both. So for me, silver is about barterability. Again, you know, if I needed to, and I didn't need the whole weight of silver that was in this bracelet, this would be easy enough for me to break down. But I do have dimes and quarters and half dollars as well as the 1 ounce pieces.
Now, if people are taking silver as barterability, it would seem to me I went up with a 1 ounce American Eagle coin or a maple leaf or a silver round or a silver bar, and somebody next to me came up with a chunk of necklace, I'm going to go out on a limb and say most likely I'll get serviced way before that person does. I might be wrong, but I'm just saying.
And please forgive me if I butcher your name. Zuquan Rain, when do I think the price of manipulation will end? Well, I think that the manipulation will end when they are ready to fully do the reset of the financial system. And we have to feel a whole lot more pain so the hyperinflation will kick into gear. But when we're looking at this, because that question is really like, when do I think the reset will happen? Unfortunately, we've not done feeling the pain yet. And once they put in the universal basic income, so UBI, and the public knows, oh, I'm going to get a check every month, because right now, a lot of people are saving whatever they can save because they have such an uncertain future. But, which is why I think we're going to have universal basic income before the end of this year. When they feel comfortable that every single week or every single month they're going to get a paycheck or a check from the government, well, then they're going to go out and start spending that money. And I think that's when you'll start to see the hyperinflation kick into gear, when it transmits throughout the economy in that way. Then, of course, ultimately there is the crash. People lose all confidence. And frankly, when confidence is lost, there is really, it's hard to get back. I'll say that. So when everybody's lost confidence, then they're going to start resetting the currency. They will use gold to do that because that's the way they've done it for 6,000 years. And that's when they'll stop really manipulating the price, or when they lose control. And the traders are a lot bigger and seem to have a whole lot more clout than the central banks. But definitely watch the video that I'm going to do that I did on Friday, because I think we're going to probably run this on Sunday. So
Also keep in mind, here's another thing. We're gonna get past this. So I just want to make my point. ITM trading would not be selling the very things they're saying are not worth anything, because they would go after them and hang them. Why would you sell to your clients the very coins that you're saying have no value? So, that email is questionable. I'm not so sure there's not an understanding, but you can see Lynette Zhang and her website. They're selling the same dang things that we are buying, okay? Now, let's get over to this other one, because this was brought to my attention.
News. I'm Niels Christensen.
Okay, so
it's always a pleasure.
So, Kitco, somebody brought it to my attention in a group saying, oh, what is this? They're saying it's never going to go over 50. And I'm going to play what they're saying, but they also say some other fun, important things.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. It's fun to be here.
So much to talk.
First of all, real quick, let me show you something.
Welcome back onto the show.
Thank you. It's my
This is Miss Garner. She's the co-founder of D Curly Trading. Trading. Did I say trading? Trading. That's important to keep in mind.
pleasure. It's fun to be here.
So much to talk about. My first question is actually from my leader, Daniela Camboni. On Twitter, She asked, what's more exciting, gold above 1840 or silver above $21? What do you think?
My perspective, I pay close attention to the gold to silver ratio, which is basically how many ounces of silver it requires to purchase 1 ounce of gold. In March and April, we saw that ratio jump up to 130, somewhere really, honestly, off the charts.
So she's saying for her to determine the value of gold and silver and care about the market, she's talking about the ratio. The number of ounces of silver you need to trade to get 1 ounce of gold. Now keep Pay close attention to what she's saying because it makes a difference.
Something we had never seen before. And it's come back down quite a bit. I think the last I checked, it's around 90, but I still think there's room for that to move lower. A more comfortable ratio would be somewhere around 70. So with that in mind, I think the fact that silver's starting to outpace gold, I think this is maybe just the beginning of that. And so I think silver's got to catch up to gold, or even, even if the market doesn't necessarily, the metals markets don't necessarily continue higher, silver should outperform. So in other words, the ratio can go both ways. If the metals move higher, silver will probably outpace gold. If they move lower, gold will probably at least not fall as hard as silver will not fall as hard as gold. So that's kind of how we're looking at it. I do think in the short run, though, there is some room on the upside in both of them.
So what you're saying is, the history shows us that the ratio to gold and silver, especially under the gold standard, was 15-1. That's been 6,000 years of history. It has gone out of whack once we started removing ourselves, well, once the Federal Reserve got involved, and once we started removing ourselves out of the gold standard, the ratio went out of whack. There's going to be a correction, make no doubt about it. So what she's saying is she keeps an eye on the ratio, okay? Right now, it's 70 ounces of silver to equal 1 ounce or so of gold. That's important. Keep in mind.
Well, I was going to say, so, that's but bottom line is in the ratio, silver kind of outperforms gold. Like it's the silver that catches up to gold, not gold falling down to silver's level.
So what they're saying is that the silver value will increase. Gold will continue to do what it does, whether it jumps up or not, but either way, silver always outperforms gold in a crisis, and then silver catches up to gold in value, not the other way around.
Correct. That's how we're leaning in the short run. There's still some seasonal support for metals. The dollar, I still believe, is going to continue lower. So there's a lot of reasons that the metals will go higher. Also, let's face it, gold and silver are momentum plays. Once the train starts pulling out of the station, it's hard to stop. It's eventually, we've seen this happen in gold over and over and over. It eventually ends ugly, but that probably isn't going to happen right away. I think we've got a little room to move on the upside before we start having to think about that.
Now, again, they're not talking about their currency reset. They're not talking about a monetary reset. None of that is being talked about. None of it's taken in consideration. This is a person who is a co-founder of a trading company. Okay.
So what levels are important? We have a lot of people talking about all-time highs, or at least pushing to 1900 by the end of the year. How far do you think gold gets before, I like that, before it gets ugly?
Right. So for gold, I'm thinking the upside in gold is probably limited to about $100 to $150 from here, at least before we get a good correction, and then we'll have to kind of reassess things. Silver's in a completely different ball game here. Silver is nowhere near the 2011 high, and honestly, I don't think we'll see that 2011 high in my lifetime. Silver got up
what she said goes
to $50 for.
So in her opinion, silver will not reach $50, is what she's saying in her lifetime. That's what she's saying. Now, again, these are experts giving your opinion. Everything is not set in gold, okay? Lynette Zhang did a video, and I showed you, where she said gold and silver values are here, housing prices are here, or gold prices here and housing prices are here. That is going to flip-flop, where gold becomes more valuable than the house. And if silver stays within that ratio, then how the hell is it going to stay at $50 an ounce? Come on now. This is just her opinion. And she owns a trading company. Do you think she wants to tell all her traders? Now, a trading company makes monies off commissions for trade. Do you think she's going to go, oh, hell no, man. Gold, silver's going to go up there tens of thousands and 500s and all that? But yeah, do you think she's going to say that? Because her investors are going to go, wait, what? When do you think this is going to happen? Why the hell do I have stock? Why wouldn't I just sell my stock and buy gold and silver? Do you see what I'm saying? It's the little things you guys got to pay attention to, okay? So, yeah, I understand, and I don't want to discourage when people find this out sharing it. I really don't. This is how we find things out. It's just that I did call her, and I don't know if she is with ITM. She said she was. But I'm wondering if it's the same ITM, and she seemed to know who Lynette Zhang was. And I'm not saying she's not correct, but I mean, as far as what she was trying to explain, but I'm not sure. I think there's more of a misunderstanding than anything else. So if she's saying that the gold and silver bullions that we're buying in bars, rounds, and coins are not worth more than $1.29, then why in God's green earth would you be selling them to your customers at this rate, knowing the type of backlash you would get? In addition to that, why would Lynette Zane be coming on to YouTube telling us that Britannia's other gold coins, it's a worldwide part of the economy, it trades around the world? Yeah, it's a great investment. The reset's happening. Make sure you store up on gold and silver. She does it every single day. All right, you guys. So look at it. I just want us to kind of make sure that, and this is a good thing that was brought to my attention. These are great questions, and so it allows me, because when I first saw this, I was like, what the hell is this? And then I immediately reached out to Money Metals, just so you guys are aware. And I said, hey, have you seen this? And there was a lot of confusion. We're like, we have no idea what the hell this person's talking about. You know what I mean? And I was like, because I never heard of this. And trust me when I tell you, I've been dealing with gold and silver for a long time. There's no way in God's green earth I've heard of anything like this. And even if it was some type of policy with the Federal Reserve, I don't give a crap, because the Federal Reserve is going to have no power here shortly. Okay, so they are not the law. There might be some room for interpretation, but with Trump in office and him telling everybody to, literally hinting to everybody to buy more gold and silver, saying we're going back to the gold and silver standard, and then an article talking about gold going up to $10,000 at a very minimum to start with. What does that do to silver? Sure to hell ain't sitting at $50, that's for sure. All right, you guys. Anyways, I just wanted to share that with you. Let me know what you think in the comments, you guys. Look, it's just not going to stop me from buying more of these coins. As a matter of fact, I got another 1,000 coming. All right. As far as confiscation is concerned, I've been asked that question a whole lot. Hey, can they confiscate it? Yeah, but anything is possible. That's why I say, one, you got to keep it in your possession. Don't keep it in a safe deposit box. Don't, you know what I mean? Don't, make sure you have it, you control it, you own it. If confiscation is there, this is why I'm saying do what you can to make sure there's no paper trail. Hide it. Find a way to hide it. Find a place where you know where it's at, and nobody else does. As far as anybody else is concerned, you give them away as gifts, giveaways. Who knows? You know what I mean? Just in case it comes down that road. But I don't think so. Again, I got to go back to the person that's in the White House right now. Now, look, the truth of the matter is, if anybody was going to do any confiscation and try to screw us over, it'd be Biden, if anybody. But Trump has been busting his ass to make sure that we are freed, both economically and constitutionally. All right? So he would be the one guy. And he's trying to do away with capital gains tax as well for our other foreign currency investment, as well as payroll tax, which is good. So yeah, I just find it hard to believe if Trump was going to be the man to pull the trigger on this gold standard and this currency reset, then we're not going to be. He's the guy we want in there. He's the guy that makes sure that all of our wealth was transferred and protected. Okay, guys? All right. If you liked the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel. And I surely do appreciate it. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.